a wonderful piece of charcuterie for you today. Beef bacon. It's not going to take the place of pork bacon, but it is fantastic in its own right. Here's what we're going to go over. Curing, cutting, and then 3 sample preps. First thing to know is that you're going to want beef brisket or beef belly. This is beef belly. I prefer it to brisket because you're going to get more of a nice fat ribbon through it. Now on to the cure. Take some spices, take some salt, curing salt, and brown sugar. Now, we have to talk about pink salt. Pink salt is important here, and you saw the curing salt that I used in the previous frame was not even pink. That's because I bought it at an Asian market, which is where you can get the cheapest stuff. But you need to use pink salt, and if you don't, it's not going to have the right flavor. It also will not last as long. This stuff is important. It's a naturally derived compound. It's been used for a very long time. And here's the thing. Nitrate-free bacon is not nitrate-free. If the meat is pink after cooking, it has nitrates, period. And how they get that is they make celery powder or celery juice, which is a source of naturally occurring nitrates, but the concentration is variable. So you just don't know how much you're using. Using pink salt is an exact way to use pink salt because you want to use exactly what the recipe calls for, not more, not less. Very important. Okay, you're going to take your beef belly and you're going to rub it down with the cure. You really want to rub it into all the nooks and crannies here, but you don't have to go crazy overboard, because we're going to take all this cure and the meat and we're going to vacuum seal it, okay? And this is the magic. So put a label and a date on it, and then just about every day, or as often as I remember, I take it out and I massage it a little bit. And you're going to see, as the meat sits, it's going to be in here for at least 10 days. It's going to make a brine. Look at that. Everything's getting really juicy in there. This is technically a dry cure, but it does form a brine in the bag. And using the bag means that the cure is really evenly distributed. So just take it out, give it a massage whenever you can remember. You can also let it come to room temperature a little bit, and that'll really help. Okay, after 10 days, you're going to take the beef out of the vacuum bag and you're going to soak it in water. Let it soak in water for a good 5 minutes, and you're going to massage it. You're going to get the salt and stuff off. And then you're going to let it sit overnight in the fridge, uncovered, for the best pellicle, which is kind of the skin that smoking makes. And after a few hours at 225, when it's 150 Fahrenheit in the middle, you are going to slice into it after it cools a little bit. Don't slice into it while it's real hot. And look at that. That's nice. It should be firm. It shouldn't fall apart. It shouldn't be like pot roast. You just want to cook it until 150. Now I'm going to go over a few different ways to cut it and slice it. So you might be thinking, oh, so you just take beef bacon and you slice it paper thin like regular bacon. Well, to do that, you're going to need a slicer. And this is actually not how I recommend to use this. Pork bacon is really good for what it does. That's becoming crispy when you bake it. You can cook beef bacon like that and have it with breakfast, but it is not the best way to use it, and I will show you why. Basically, there's a bunch of different ways that you can cut this stuff. So the Glory of Lardons, as I call it, this is the French way of using salt pork or bacon. We're going to take the beef bacon, we're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to cut it into kind of thick batons. And this is the best thing to do. The first thing I'll go over is just with some simple nettle gnocchi. And I posted a video about these the other day. You can take a look at that. We're going to start out with a little bit of the lardons. I'm going to add some chicken of the woods mushrooms. I'll add a splash of wine. I'll toss the gnocchi. Toss everything together, and then to plate, we're going to put a little tomato sauce. You could do a blush sauce too with this. Put some in the bottom of the bowl because we don't want to cover up the color of that gnocchi. And then we're just going to put all the goodies on top. And add a little cheese, and that is a wonderful dish. Next, simple vegetable hash. This might look a little complicated because this is how ideally it's going to be done in a restaurant. Everything is par cooked ahead of time, including the bacon. So you can see I have some mushrooms and radishes in the back pan. I have some carrots that I've roasted off. Now, once I render the fat from the bacon, I'm going to add some par cooked potatoes. And if you want instructions on how to do that, these are going to be in the post on my website. Now I'm going to add a little bit of extra tallow here. Plop. That's a little extra beef tallow. Then I'm going to add everything together, add some scallions at the end. And that's an easy way to stretch your bacon and your lardons. I mean, just look at that. Nice and colorful. That's a fantastic breakfast. Top it with a fried egg. You're ready to go. Okay, beef bacon spaghetti Amatriciana, one of my all-time favorite pastas. And this is the exact method that I learned from the butcher from Rome. We take the lardons and we put them in a pan. I'm going to cut them a little bit smaller than this, and I'm going to add some extra tallow there just to get everything going, and we put a crushed clove of garlic in the pan, which we're going to discard after the bacon. You want to cook this down and get it nice and crisp. Really render that fat out. And just keep going. Obviously don't burn the garlic, but you want to infuse the fat with it. And we'll take a spoonful of fat out, but we're going to leave a lot in. Now we're going to add a good pinch of chili flakes. The pan should be ripping hot. Add some tomato, a splash of milk, and some pasta water. Stew that with the noodles for a little bit. Cook everything all together. It should be nice and spicy. And then you want pecorino cheese here as traditional. And to plate, twist your noodles again, put the goodies on top, finish with a little more pecorino, and that is a fantastic dish. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about beef bacon. Thanks for watching.